Hey, listener, you know that it comes for everybody at some point, right? Whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, who knows? Who knows when? But you know what I'm talking about. Those dreaded T levels start dropping. Maybe you don't feel as strong as you used to physically. Maybe your workouts, you're not recovering the same way that you used to, right? Maybe you don't have the energy or the focus that you used to get things done. Like you were out there, you were chopping wood and you were arm wrestling people and you were sending emails and filling out Excel sheets and your energy was there. You could do anything. You could pick up a mountain. Well, thankfully, you don't have to battle those low T levels anymore because we got Mars Men. It's not like drinking a cup of coffee where you get a little boost of caffeine and all right, I'm good for like an hour or two, but then I got to keep drinking coffee to keep these levels up. Now I'm all jittery and I can't focus. It's not like that. It's a steadier sense of drive throughout the day. You'll be feeling better in 2026 than you have in the past couple of years. Mars Men supports healthy T levels, energy, and stamina. It's got 8 natural, clinically dosed ingredients. It's made in the USA, and it's third-party tested. There's a 90-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk. Over 91% of users report higher energy levels. Thousands of guys are feeling incredible results. Just check out the reviews on the website to see for yourself. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. It's a perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts at checkout. After your purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Support the show, please, and tell them our show sent you.
Hey, Sal.
Hank, what's going on? We haven't worked a case in years.
I just bought my car at Carvana, and it was so easy. Too easy.
Think something's up?
You tell me. They got thousands of options. Found a great car at a great price. And it got delivered the next day.
It sounds like Carvana just makes it easy to buy your car, Hank.
Yeah, you're right. Case closed.
Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
I'm Richard Serrett. Join me on Strange Planet for in-depth conversations with the world's top paranormal investigators, alien abductees, Bigfoot trackers, monster hunters, time travelers, and more.
The handler one day told her this whole thing about how they've been terraforming on Mars and they're building a colony and they're recruiting specific people of specific bloodlines and specific talents and skill sets to go onto the planet.
On Richard Serrett's Strange Planet, we're redefining reality. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
What's the old saying that like everything ends poorly or else it wouldn't end? Have you ever heard that?
'Tis better to have loved and lost than never loved at all.
Sure. Smile because it happened. Don't cry because it's over, you know?
Everything ends badly or else it wouldn't end. Amin, do you want to guess which cinephobe movie Tom just quoted?
Is that Road Trip?
Tommy Boy.
Cocktail.
Cocktail, wow.
I don't want to end it this way.
Jesus, everything ends badly. Otherwise, it wouldn't end.
Tom didn't even know.
No idea. I said Road Trip. The Road Trip one is, if the shortcut was easy, it would just be called The Way.
Yeah,
that is the philosophical quote from Road Trip.
That is deep.
I feel really bad for Chris because it was very unceremonious that he was traded at the deadline and then waived by the Toronto Raptors, and then that's it. But he did kind of have a little ceremony in LA, which was nice.
Did he? Oh, he had the supper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone asked me if I was going. I said, I don't think I'm going to go. I don't think I'm invited to that one.
You turned that one down.
Yeah. Well,
we'll learn later you've got one that you didn't get an invite that you were very upset about.
Sure. Man, look, great career. Hell of a player. Hall of Famer.
Stephen A. has just joined us. Yes.
Incredible work ethic. I'm doing all the stuff to lead at the front end. What a magnificent waste of time all of that was. Oh, the Clippers, they're so great. Why are they 6-19? How dare they do the Chris Paul? Chris Paul, could he average, you know what he averaged in San Antonio last year? Oh my God, he had they should send him, they should allow him. Motherfucker got traded and cut and said, you know what, on second thought, never mind.
Or he was right because they traded James Harden. There was a little political intrigue there in Clipperland. So he might have been right. Like, hey, they actually have some stuff and they actually ended up trading Ivica Zubac and James Harden.
Yeah, I mean, look, they were massively successful after they got rid of Chris Paul.
As we've talked about, as you've talked about, I mean, on Pablo Torre Finds Out, the Chris Paul chapter was season 2
Yeah.
of the Clippers season.
Yeah.
And yes, to be unceremoniously sent home, then have the team do well, probably for a lot of the reasons that you were actively complaining about. But then you get shipped out of town, and your last resort to your retirement tour is a 4-page Notes app Instagram post.
Did they start doing well because of the things he was complaining about, or were they doing well because he was no longer there complaining about every fucking thing?
Yeah, it's a Rorschach test.
If you ask Chris Paul,
oh, I'm sure, yeah.
He's saying, now they start doing what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, they're starting to listen to me now that I'm gone.
I just want everyone to realize and be able to hold in your head two different thoughts at the same time. One is Chris Paul was a great player, and the other is Chris Paul was an immense pain in the ass. And what happened with the Clippers was the pain in the ass part outweighed the great player part, which is a lot easier because it's 21st season and nothing great lasts forever. Otherwise, whatever the saying goes,
it's the shortcut, lasts forever, or else it would
call the way, right? It's okay to say, hey, man, they weren't awful because they weren't listening to Chris Paul. That's not the reason why. He was actively a net negative in terms of what he brought to the table versus how much it cost psychically, emotionally, et cetera, et cetera. And that's fine. I'm just saying, felt like a big waste of time if he wasn't even going to do all right, let me see who I can latch on to right here before March 1st or whatever. I thought we were going to get that part of Chris Paul's career. For him to say, never mind, motherfucker, you could have retired back then. You could have worked with them to say, guess what, guys? Y'all don't want me. Don't do this. Let me just retire. We'll make up a story about my back hurting or whatever, my knee, but it was a great run, and I want to retire Clipper, and this obviously going to look good for you guys, too. That would have been a much more ideal end to this saga rather than this weird, whatever, emotional hijacking.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure, Demon Deacon. What do you got to say?
You got another Coughlin's Law for us, Tom?
How many other players are getting a statement from Adam Silver when they retire? Because I'm looking through my archives here, and I'm not seeing someone who generated a statement from Adam Silver in quite some long time. And maybe it's just that there's a real dearth of players who have retired who are Hall of Famer, that caliber player. But here's what he said. After 21 remarkable seasons, Chris Paul retires as one of the greatest point guards in NBA history and a true steward of our sport. From the moment he entered the league, Chris distinguished himself with his savvy playmaking skills, elite competitiveness, and intense work ethic. He also poured enormous time and energy into the role as president of the Players Association, offering thoughtful and principled perspectives to strengthen our game and our business. His leadership on behalf of the players was essential in negotiating collective bargaining agreements, helping guide the league through a pandemic, addressing important societal issues, and so much more. On behalf of the NBA, Amin, I congratulate Chris on an extraordinary career and thank him for his friendship, partnership, and lasting contributions to our game.
Congratulations. Everything said there is true.
Yeah.
Also, pain in the ass.
Yeah, here's my favorite quote from his long Notes app retirement eulogy. As a lifelong learner, leadership is hard and is not for the weak. Some will like you, and many people won't.
Some and many, yeah.
I mean, for him, that certainly seemed to be the math. I wouldn't say that about every leader, but yeah, some will like you, and many, many, many didn't like him.
The opposite of his assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah.
My assignment. Uncover why the association inspires more conspiracy theories in volume and salience than any other U.S. sport.
You've heard of the Illuminati.
The truth is out there, but so are lies.
Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
The NBA has always been controlled by about 8 people.
Denial is the most predictable of all human responses.
If you're only using 10% of your brain, you don't even know that you're using 10% of your brain.
The NBA Illuminati.
If coincidences are just coincidences, why do they feel so contrived?
The Illuminati.
But you start to follow the money, and you don't know where the f*** it's going to take you.
It is unspoken. They have influence among other players.
The NBA Illuminati.
I don't have time for your convenient ignorance.
Maybe I'm a conspiracist now as well.
That's all it took. Oh, we got books, we got schools. You saw a video on YouTube.
My eyes, sir. You've never used them before.
We are the basketball Illuminati.
This is Basketball Illuminati. I am Tom Haberstroh, and as always, we are joined by the five-star Illuminati generals, Amin Elhassan, and producer Anthony Mays.
What's up, Illumination? Thank you for keeping your third eye open. As always, you can support us at patreon.com/countthedings. That'll get you ad-free episodes and help us continue to produce the show. Also, check out our YouTube page at Basketball Illuminati. You can watch our Truth Teller interviews and Do You Believe episodes there. Please subscribe and continue to show your support. Thank you.
We've got Truth Teller Extraordinaire, returnee, ESPN's Vincent Goodwill, going to join us here after his report, his dispatches from LA at Intuit Dome. And Amin is covering his forehead with what looks like to be
red dots, lasers trained on me all over Intuit Dome. I walked around with a bounty on my head the entire weekend.
Well, we're going to talk to Vinny about, the tanking, Kevin Durant, all the issues that we addressed over this past week and the weekend in LA. But first,
you are listening to The Agenda with Amin Elhassan and Tom Haberstroh.
What were those supposed to be? Those are supposed to be
red dots from all the little laser sights on all.
It looked like silly putty. It looked like,
I was going to say it looked like tomatoes that have been splattered on his head.
That too. I've been watching a lot of bad movies for Cinephobe.
Yeah.
This is what I'll say about red dots. I went around All-Star Weekend with red dots on me from powers that be. But I came home to find out red dots are on all of us now because we are unabashed draft abolitionists. Welcome, my brothers.
All righty then.
Is this like a subsection of the Illuminati headquarters? Is not the entire Illumination on board with abolition yet?
Some will follow you.
Some.
Many will not like you, and many are not liking the idea that I came up with 11 years ago and that Tom has revived now and is gaining steam and traction.
You're welcome.
People have accused us of many things, including carrying the league's water, that we are part of a vastly conspiracy to put this out there. And that also somehow means we don't like basketball. That's the other part.
Well, let's first address the first thing, that we are apparently being hired by Adam Silver to carry his water and to get his talking notes out there. I had a pretty well-known media personality reach out to me saying, this popped up on my feed. Did Adam Silver personally call you telling you to deliver this strategy, laughing emojis? I think this person was kind of kidding, but also like, did Adam make the call? And it is wild to me that people think that all of a sudden we're taking notes from Adam Silver when we've been out here since, what was your article?
2015.
2015.
May of 2015.
And this story that I wrote for Yahoo was a New Year's resolution column that said, hey, as one of the 7 recommendations I would have to the league, one of them is to kill the draft. And man, people think we just came up with it today.
After Adam didn't even bring it up, by the way, was just say that all options are on the table.
Well, according to them, he didn't need to bring it up because we were going to take the torch for him.
We already were. Yeah, let me tell you something. First of all, if the NBA wanted to pay me to be a mouthpiece,
you're cashing that check.
Dog, why do you think why has my whole career been? I pray for the day I could be a mouthpiece. Just give me money and I could be full of shit. That would be awesome. Instead, Instead, I have to do what I have to do, man. I have to.
No, Amin, you would never sell out for that. You would never do that. You would not.
No heartbeat.
You would never. You're part of the Illumination, period. Okay?
I turn on all of you.
He'll throw down his cloak.
And then join the Illumination, right? The real cabal.
That's the thing. Basketball Illuminati, you got to remember, it was all about pulling back the curtain and revealing the people in charge, the things that are happening, the agendas at play. We are for the people. We are the ones who reveal. And all I'm saying to you guys is, what better way to reveal than to have a guy on the inside?
For a price.
I'm not doing this shit for free.
Money, please.
Oh, no, there's no money.
Oh, my bad. No problem.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I'll just destroy this office.
Oh, hey!
Money, please. Money, please.
Ben, give her some money. It's easier.
Most of my mentions are filled with people who are outraged, indignant about how I hate basketball.
That's the weirdest part.
And Amin, I don't understand this thread. We are suggesting players coming into the league should be able to choose where they employ themselves based on how good the situation is for them. And this means by giving those players autonomy and removing the incentive to tank and lose games on purpose, we hate basketball. Can you explain the logic?
Tom, on Do You Believe last week, Waz had an epic rant that took over the entire cold open of our show.
That was a cold open?
Yes. My question was like, hey, Waz, the Jazz, haha. And then he unleashed.
Adam needs to take his head out of his fucking ass and do something about this shit. Yes. He needs to do his job and convince the owners that this is a horrible road to go down. It's ruinous when everybody follows suit. It's ruinous, bro.
But the response was similar, which is like, it's the media. Too many people in the media are hating on the NBA and complaining about it. And that's what it is.
Oh.
If you are saying that, Tom, the lottery is broken, you must be implying that the NBA sucks.
What?
Yeah.
If you don't like the product, the way it's delivered to you, that's on you. Media, big media, sitting in your ivory tower with your silver fountain pen. Come on.
I'm starting to realize why the country as a whole is in the place it's in right now.
It's if you're not happy, you should leave. You should get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Go back to Africa.
Oh,
that's
not what I said.
Not what you said.
No, I didn't say it either.
That's Amin talking.
Go back to Greece with. For me, I'm merely saying if we don't want these indictments and this conflict of interest of teams that are trying to lose games on purpose, we should go to a system that doesn't incentivize people to lose games on purpose. And that system is a free agency system.
So basically, the system is this. You get rid of the draft, replace it with salary cap exceptions, right? The worst team, because we're still magnanimous and we care about the little guys, the worst team gets the largest salary cap exception. And it gets lower and lower and lower until you get to the 30th team, which is the team with the best record. And they get the smallest exception, which would be more than minimum, but not a whole hell of a lot more than minimum. And the idea here is that, yeah, we want to give the worst teams the biggest advantage of having the most money available to pay players. Now we have a draft free agency prior to July 1, and you go out there and you're armed with this exception, and you go out there and you try to sign guys. And so teams have to, A, appeal enough to the player for the player to even sit down with you, right? Think about a regular free agent. He doesn't sit down with 30 teams, sits down with a handful, right? So who are the people that have money? Now I'll talk to them, but it's not just money. What role do you have for me? Some people say, oh, Oklahoma City's going to get everybody. Well, who wants to make $900,000 sitting behind everybody on that team? Or the Knicks. People say, oh, they'll go to New York. Who wants to make okay money to not play?
Oh, but I mean, they would make so much more money in endorsements off the floor at New York. They would just line up to go to New York.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. When was the last time the New York fucking Knicks signed somebody in free agency at the max?
Right.
We have this conversation every freaking year about the New York Knicks are going to get this guy, and they strike out all the time. It's been, Amari Stoudemire was the last guy, and I don't think it was his first pick.
Jalen Brunson Well, I guess he wasn't a big name.
No, but it wasn't
the big name coming in, you're saying.
Max guy where there's 1,000 teams lining up to sign this guy. Jalen Brunson does not fit that criteria.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He might be after the fact, but at the time, I think it's Amari Stoudemire. And it wasn't a great situation, right? So the idea that the Lakers would have LeBron James, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and Darren Peterson's just going to sign up for that. He's the presumptive number 1 overall pick. It's nuts. It's nuts.
There's a lot going on. Number one is, as you pointed out, does it happen now?
Look at the Miami Heat.
Right now, theoretically, you could pay certain guys, and there are escalators in endorsement deals that say, hey, if you're somewhere in one of these markets, you get more. But it's not going to be appreciably more, especially if it's not a great situation. So let's just say, take, for instance, the best point guard prospect in the draft. Kingston Flemings of Houston, right? He's up there on the mock drafts. He's not going to go to New York.
Oh.
He goes to New York. He doesn't play because it's a team that's poised to win, because there are vets in front of him, all the things that don't lend to allow a young player to play. Do you think Nike's like, we'll hold off. We'll keep paying you your $100 million because one day you will play? No, man. There's going to be language in their contract that says you got to be playing. You can't just be here. Yeah, that first year, maybe everyone goes crazy. But at some point, no one wants to pay for someone who doesn't play. And the players know this. And the biggest thing we tell players all the time is, where's the money? The money is in your second deal. Your first deal is just hey, buy your mom a house and welcome to the NBA. But the one where it's like my family is set for life is the second deal. And so, no, I don't think it's going to be a big problem in terms of small market versus big market. You know who's really going to suffer? Badly run team versus well-run team.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that there's always the risk of a big name prospect choosing a bigger market team or a more successful team and taking a discount on his initial salary. But you can't ignore the fact that Kingston Flemings might rather play in New York than Sacramento because he doesn't want to go to Sacramento because they're terrible, because they're a miserable franchise. Sacramento has to give Kingston Flemings incentive to join their team because they're going in the right direction, because their organization is putting things one foot in front of the other as opposed to heading straight down the drain.
There's a tipping point for all of that. Sacramento, worst team by lottery odds right now. I would be giving them the largest exception. New York right now, as of today, is tied for the 5th worst pick in the draft. Looking at the 25-26 scale, the number 1 overall pick got $13.8 million in year 1 of their rookie scale deal. The 25th, $2.9 million.
Yeah.
So that's $10 million off the rip.
In 1 year.
Over the first 2 years of the contract, $22 million in difference right there. But it's not Sacramento, the location, that's going to make Kingston Fleming say no. It's Sacramento, the track record of being able to take care of my career, to make sure that I go in the right place. In many ways, ladies and gentlemen, it's like college recruiting. Would I rather play for SC in LA versus Duke in Durham, North Carolina? Of course I'd rather live in LA than Durham. But we put it in the context of, well, we have a program that year after year churns out NBA talent, and they don't. That changes that conversation. So even when some of these other schools come with the bag, man, the decision is not simply based on location. It's not simply based on highest bidder. The big thing is you've got to have your shit together.
That's right. And I think in a new model where you are incentivized to get your shit together, I think Sacramento isn't a laughing stock anymore.
Right.
If we can't tank our way to getting to these prospects and we actually have to try hard, bring them into a meeting, then we should probably get our shit together. We should probably not be so laissez-faire about this whole process. And I mean, I know it comes from the top.
You're a glass half full kind of guy, the way you described it. The way I describe it is, I don't think Sacramento will overnight become good. I think they would crumble. Yes, there are going to be teams that are going to struggle immensely at the beginning. And you know what's going to happen? Those front offices are going to get fired, and the owners are going to go out and get people who know how to do this well, fiscally responsible, do their homework, cross their T's and dot their I's and all that shit. And that's how you get to a place where, again, it's never going to change from haves and have-nots because talent is hard to come by, but You're going to get better run organizations because you are more directly rewarded for having a better run organization, as opposed to the current system where I can be bad and then at some point I did that on purpose because I was tanking. No, you weren't. You thought you were going to be good and you just suck.
Here's the best example that I can give to you. So far, people haven't really had a good retort to this. Where did Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey go when they had the choice to go to any school in the country?
Rutgers.
Rutgers. Where did AJ DeBonsa go? And he had the choice to go to any college in the country.
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
BYU.
Darren Peterson had the choice to live in any city in the world. He chose Lawrence, Kansas to ply his trade.
Yeah.
We see this time and time again that the top prospects or the most valuable players in the league are going to non-marquee markets because those are the best situations. They either offer the most money, the most playing time, or they just vibe with the coach and they took care of their family. Why would it be different in the league? Why? When we were not seeing free agents flock to go to the Clippers or the Lakers, yes, you get Anthony Davis and LeBron every once in a while, but you never really see this play out in free agency when they have their own autonomy to go to these markets. And the boogeyman, everybody's worried about, oh, this will be the end of the small markets. How will Charlotte ever exist? Oklahoma City, how will San Antonio, Milwaukee, Portland, Utah, how will they ever survive? And I'm like, how are all these other college programs somehow surviving and thriving when there isn't a draft?
Tom, who was the last big name free agent prior to LeBron to sign with the Lakers?
Timothy Mozgov.
Big money.
Money, please.
Is this just people who aren't? I would throw it back at them.
Oh.
You hate basketball if you haven't given this the time to actually think for a second about what this would do.
Yeah.
If you actually cared about basketball and loved the NBA and worshipped at the altar of the logo, then you would see.
Yeah. Get them.
Are we Thanos right now? Are we doing the like, look, shit's going to be tough, but in the end, you guys all thank me when everything's plentiful.
The abolitionists know that there's no better possible outcome than 5 players, 5 top prospects looking at Sacramento with the top salary slot and saying, until you get down the line and someone's like, I'll take that money. I'll be a king. Let's do it.
I'm warning everybody right now. It's coming when the Sacramento Kings win the number 1 overall pick. Laugh at us now, but when the number 1 pick decides I'm not going to Sacramento, you can't force me to go to Sacramento. I don't care.
I think you mean Eli Manning.
Everyone's going to think, wait, Amin and Tom and David Aldridge? By the way, if I want to have someone in my corner on this, it's going to be David Aldridge.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. OG, who has seen everything in the league and has come to the conclusion that he wants to be on the right side of history on this one.
I would say he came to the conclusion that Amin was right.
David Aldridge hit me up on Twitter and he said, glad you're aboard. It was cold out here last June, smiley face.
That's right.
Can you guys really quick explain to me the Mark Cuban thing of it? Because I got an aneurysm trying to read what he tweeted.
All I know is that Mark Cuban, as he is wont to do, threw his 2 cents into the ring of why the NBA should embrace tanking. And then his first sentence after that is, the NBA has Kate been misguided. And I lost interest immediately. Follow up from Mark Cuban, sorry for the typos, was rushing out the door. He wrote 10 paragraphs. What do you mean you're rushing out the door?
Are you sure he wrote the 10 paragraphs?
Is it Chad?
Or was it our guy Chad?
Hey, what's up, bros? I miss anything?
In a stunning development for the abolitionist movement, Mark Cuban has chimed back in to say that back in the day, he floated the idea to, quote, make the draft more like free agency. He then explains how it works and says that it got shot down quickly. So not only is Mark Cuban an abolitionist, he is taking credit for the idea and is now in competition with Amin. This is fascinating.
We got truth teller Vincent Goodwill joining us from ESPN here to talk about more tanking and more Kevin Durant stuff. Coming up.
Hello, listener. It's producer Maze here to talk to you about Quince Cookware. I don't know about you, but for me, it's stew season. Been working on my game, making some hearty, saucy, brothy, and delicious stews with my professional grade cast iron Dutch oven from Quince. But let me tell you a little secret. It's actually affordable because with Quince, you're working directly with the factory, straight to the makers, no middlemen, no retail markup, no packaging costs, no fancy storefronts, no big marketing budgets, just quality cookware. Because a stew is only as good as the vessel containing it. So upgrade your kitchen at quince.com/dings for free shipping and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dings, DINGS, quince.com/dings.
Hey, listener, you've got places to be. And sitting in a waiting room for hair loss treatment, not one of them. Flying to Turkey to figure out your hair loss issues, that's even worse. Hims makes expert care accessible on your schedule. You can skip the line and focus on feeling like yourself again. You don't have to wait to be in a Kevin Durant or LeBron James situation. It doesn't need to be that. It doesn't need to be Jerry Rice. Seeing Jerry Rice's hairline, it doesn't need to be that at all. You feel like it's thinning out a little bit? You feel like it's thinned out way too much already? Well, Hims offers convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments with ingredients that work, including chews, oral medications, serums, and sprays. Doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil can stop further hair loss and regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. That's so quick. There's probably some hidden fees. Nope, no hidden fees, no surprise costs, just real personalized care on your schedule. Think of Hims as your digital front door that gets you back to your old self with simple 100% online access to trusted treatments for real health concerns all in one place. For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/basketball. That's hims.com/basketball for your free online visit. hims.com/basketball. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride.
LinkedIn is pretty great at a lot of things, like helping you tap into the latest trends and insights in your field. We cannot stop your coworker from tapping her pencil. LinkedIn can help you find new jobs that align with your career goals. We cannot help you find the source of that weird smell in the office fridge. Ew. And while we can't stop your coworkers from bringing their hobbies into the office, LinkedIn can help you bring your career to the next level. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
You all think I'm late. Well, I'm not late. And I'm gonna stay right here and fight for this lost cause, even if this room gets filled with lies like these. And the Taylors and all their armies come marching into this place. Somebody will listen to me.
There's no better way to overpower a trickle of doubt than with a flood of naked truth.
But the complexity and the gray lie not in the truth, but what you do with the truth once you have it.
What is true and right is true and right for all.
You and I both know that that's just not the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
It's too messy. Keeps them up nights.
I'm here because in the end, the truth is worth the risk.
Speak a little truth and people lose their minds.
I'm a grown man. You can tell me the truth.
Why is it people who want the truth never believe it when they hear it?
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something really outrageous. I'm going to tell the truth.
Vinny, Amin, how does it feel? You guys ask questions at the Adam Silver press conference. Do you get another stripe, another badge on the shoulder sleeve? How does it feel?
Well, first of all, I got to thank Vinny because I said I got a question. And Vinny told me you need to alert the authorities ahead of time because if you do that hand raising shit, anything could happen. So I alerted the proper authorities, and I got an answer that I got to admit. I was like, that's a no. You're not going to get to say shit. But I got the last question, so thank you, Vinny.
Well, for one, as a veteran of asking Adam Silver uncomfortable questions, I figured that you sitting next to me as the two black guys sitting next to each other was probably going to be a tale that we were up to some shenanigans.
Yeah, you guys asked some good questions. Vinny, you asked about the expansion and
relocation.
Relocation, because that's kind of, people are wondering, like, wait, we've been dragging our feet on expansion for so long, and there's the whole Robert Parra and Memphis Grizzlies, and there's the New Orleans Pelicans. It's just like, is there a relocation possibility? And he shut that down. He did have the caveat of like, for now, we're not looking at.
He said right now. Adam is a lawyer. He lawyered us. Yeah. He filibustered us.
Yeah. So did you have, was that like a question that you wanted to ask ahead of time, and then you didn't have anyone who's jumping your question? Like that is a thing where you're like, all right, I've got like 3 questions in case someone else steals my question.
Well, I had the second question, and the first one was Dan Wakey. And normally it's like Tim Reynolds from AP is the first question. He's like, we call him first question Tim Reynolds. So I'm thinking, normally I get second question as the resident black person here. And then another white dude jumped me, and that was the question I was going to ask about tanking. So I had to kind of, double back a little bit.
Who's the other guy that asked the question? Who asked the tanking question? Because it wasn't
DA.
After Wakey. DA.
DA.
Oh yeah, DA asked about whether picks will be taken as potentially on the table for that. Oh wait, so the interesting thing about Tim Reynolds is in the Miami media room, it's the opposite. It's first question Ira. Ira Winderman always gets the first question in Miami, and then Tim
when
follows.
it's local, it's different than when it's the bigger stage. We'll say
that's
that.
Right. I think Tim would be happy to get the Adam Silver questions first in terms of the local stuff. Yeah, you can have the local stuff. All right. So what did you think about Adam Silver's performance answering the questions at the press conference? Any takeaways, Vinny, that you went back to your editors and you're like, I want to write about this?
I think, and Amin kind of agreed with me, at least I hope he does. That was probably as newsworthy of a press conference as Adam Silver has ever had since he did the Donald Sterling is banned, pause, for life.
No.
Ever since then, and usually these things are pretty mundane, right? With the exception of the 1 year, I think in Cleveland, where he was getting into a real back and forth with us about being allowed in the locker room. And he was basically saying a bunch of unsavory things.
Oh, there's a lot of people who just come in just to stare at players in the locker room. I remember that one.
Yeah, that was a little weird. But I think for me, the tanking thing, or even opening the door to doing something drastic with the draft was the biggest thing. Like hitting them in the pocketbooks is where it's going to hurt the most. So if Adam has to hold up the idea of, hey, maybe we do abolish the draft if you guys don't get it right, I think that shows how serious he wants to be. The question is, do we think that Adam has the teeth to do it? Does he have the stomach to do this with these owners and to get this collectively bargained? Because you got to go through the Players Association. How do the players feel about it? Like, it's a lot of different things. But even just the fact that we're exploring all options. Oh, really? What type of options, Adam?
Yeah.
That was
all options on the table.
All options on the table.
And him saying that this is bad for business, and him saying that oh man, I'm drawing a blank. He said that this is the worst it's been in this year has been worse. He acknowledged that there have been problems, that like this isn't just, it's an overall bad problem. It's like it's worse this year than it's been in recent memory.
And on top of that, all those things. And the other thing that he said was interesting on this topic was, I don't think I can really do I'll legislate this as I see it, when I see it, because it'll lead to some very unhealthy relationships with the teams. Basically, just picking and choosing which teams to penalize for tanking. He doesn't have a good systematic rule for what is tanking, and it's pornography, right? It's you know it when you see it. And I think he finished with this line, like, I don't want to get in the business of doing that, of deciding, hey, that's tanking, that's against the rules. What you did is against the rules, but you're okay over here. And I think that's probably because I don't think it's so cut and dry. Like the Utah Jazz sitting Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr., a couple other teams have been doing the same thing this year, but they didn't get hit with a fine. And then Pascal Siakam's played 95% of the games, and then he sat out for that one game. and they get hit with $100,000 fine. And I can understand where some teams are like, wait a minute, like this is like whack-a-mole. Like you seem to think that these things are not okay, but other people have been doing the same stuff, but they're not getting hit with that. And I think Adam Silver's just fed up with it. I think he just doesn't want to get in this business. And we can get into why he's so fed up right now, but he just seemed like very agitated about the whole tanking thing in ways that, like Vinny, you said, he just never really lets out that kind of fire, in these press conferences.
No, he was rightfully agitated. Like when you think about, let's say, the second day of the season, right? Remember that? The second day of the damn season, the feds are coming out with indictments timed very peculiarly, right? Wow, that's the second day of the NBA season. Let's come on and indict some folks. So all that to me is tied in. What the gambling industry, the integrity of the game, like that is the fabric of everything's competition. Like as much as this is entertainment, as much as this is business, this has to be competition and this has to be fair competition. And if the league is going to have a third of its teams, and maybe this is a unique year where you've got protections on picks, you have a generational draft, like a perfect storm. Maybe that's the case, but something needed to be done. I know, Stro, you are an advocate of getting rid of the draft. I'm not there yet. I am on the mode of you can't get a top five.
I'm just riding the coattails of this guy right here. I mean,
you're pointing to the wrong
direction.
Oh, this guy. I'm just riding the coattails of this guy right here.
No, it's getting louder. Like David Aldridge, who I respect immensely, is basically saying, hey, let the teams, fight for the players' services and everything else. I just think there's unintended consequences that come with that, and I'm not willing to necessarily go down that road. I am willing to tinker with the lottery a little bit, and I think, how do I phrase this? I think that the lottery flattening the odds have actually worked over the past few years. The problem is you got teams that are on the back end of the lottery that feel compelled to be like, hey, we can stay on the back end of the lottery. We don't got to tank our way out. We got just as good of a chance as the worst team, which then creates more teams tanking. My general thing is stop it at the 40 game mark. Like set the lottery odds at the 40 game mark and tell teams if you get a top 3 pick one year, you can't get a top 3 pick the next year. Like if the incentive is to have fair play and get you in the lottery and then get you out, then you cannot use the draft as the balm for every single ailment that you have. You have to, do some shit yourself.
So, Vinny, let me ask you a question because, yes, I am the originator of Abolish the Draft. 11 years ago, I wrote that shit.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
It literally took 11 years. It's not even 10 years. Not even last year. It's like this year is the first time since I wrote that shit that anyone has said, maybe that's a good idea. So I've been the crazy Ted Kaczynski guy for quite a while now.
Wow, you went there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I saw some shit about Ted Kaczynski now, and I'm like, maybe he wasn't such a bad guy.
I was going to try to recruit you to join the abolitionists, Vinny, but after that reference by Amin, I don't know. Maybe I'm rethinking my own position here.
Ted Kaczynski. Maybe we were too quick to judge. But
the comments made by Amin Elhassan are made by him and himself and nobody else. Yep. Not indicative of basketball Illuminati, Tom Haberstroh, Anthony Mays, or any guest incorporated. Go ahead.
Thank you.
That was nice.
Proceed.
Have that in it.
I might have to save that so I can play that before every episode.
But after I wrote this and I got no support for it and all that stuff, I began to think about this is like Brian Windhurst. They need to be a 40-game season. Like, yeah, I actually agree with the logic behind it, but it's like, let's be real, it ain't gonna happen. Because the people who need to verify it or ratify it are the same people who benefit from the status quo. Absolutely. Why would I ever say yes to that? Like, same way, right?
1 through 16, right? 1 through 16.
Yeah, just like the seed the playoffs 1 through 16. The people who you need to ratify it are the same people who are impacted by it. Hence, they're not going to do it. So, I've evolved since then to think about it this way. Does it matter? It matters this year because it's so bad, right? But overall, aren't we content with every year there's a couple of losers?
Okay. So I understand what you're saying is, look, if the Wizards and Brooklyn Nets want to race to the bottom, who cares? There's always going to be bad teams. We've got bad teams. I think the interesting piece is what Vinny hit on earlier is the gambling and the indictments, is that I think Adam Silver is so adamant about this now because he's hearing it not from just the gambling companies about setting the right lines and having perfect information about lineups and who's playing and who's not, who's out, who's not, but also the feds are after the NBA right now. And that gap of information about what's private and what's public is a lot more complicated when you got 10 teams tanking to the bottom. So whether it's one or two, you can police that and try to like minimize that, right? But when it's 10 teams, and if this is just the start of how it's going to be going forward, I think that's why it is so problematic and why Adam Silver is so strong about it, right? I mean, like you see that, right? Yeah.
No, for sure. Like we talked about, it's there's a difference between, all right, who's playing tonight? Nobody. All right. Versus who's playing tonight? All our guys. And then midway through, like, actually, they're not going to play the whole game. Yeah, I like what we had going with Isaiah Collier and Bryce Sensabaugh, right? Like that, there's a difference in those things. It impacts the overall line. It impacts the individual player prop bets and all that. It impacts the gambling. And the thing that I got to remind everybody, once again, over and over, it's done. They're here. The money's been spent. You're not getting gambling out. So we all have to adjust our behaviors to reflect that influx of cash that is going nowhere. Like, in general, is there anything wrong with a guy saying, "Oh man, I'm gonna sit my guys"? No, but when people are paying money to take other people's money based on the events of what is supposed to be pure competition, right? Unadulterated, fucked around with, then you cannot abide by that kind of behavior. I said it on the radio the other day. What the Utah Jazz did, in no uncertain terms, was match fixing. Just because they didn't benefit from some guy in Vegas or some guy in a back alley doesn't make it any less match fixing. It was supposed to be one way. They went into it desiring an outcome, and when the outcome wasn't happening, they took matters into their own hands to make sure the outcome happened. That's the definition of match fixing. Whether it's because some guy was going to pay them off or not is irrelevant.
And against the Heat, they failed. They tried to match fix, and they did not succeed.
Yeah.
Just because you're incompetent don't mean, like, you can be dumb at doing something and still be jacked up for trying it. That's all that was. And you don't want to, like, I was really surprised that Adam actually brought the hammer down. But I don't even know if $500,000 is a hammer in today's game. What that is tantamount to is, you know what? Lower level staffer, you're going to lose your job because I lost $500,000. And that don't help the league. So you have to really attack it in the moment. And I think competition committees and stuff like that, like, those are where these things are going to change, because who's looking out? And this is my general thought on the NBA players of today and the teams. Like, the players don't want to do anything extra. They don't want to do anything to market the game and grow the game, everything else. The teams are looking out for self, which is fine. Who is looking out for the greater good of the game? And it doesn't seem like anybody's doing that. It's supposed to be Adam. Adam is supposed to be the caretaker for this. Like, he don't own basketball anymore than David Stern didn't own basketball, but you have to have a competent leader that people can follow and that people can say, you know what, basketball is going in a good direction for the present and the future. Right now, it's so wonky. And maybe, like I said, y'all, maybe this is just the wonkiest of wonky years with the draft protections and the quality of the draft picks and everything else coming in. That could be the case. The problem is we've seen this before, and we've seen some teams benefit from it, and other teams are following it. Like, some people may consider Granddad Sam Presti is the guy that is saying, hey, Utah Jazz, what are you doing out here? You know, that's my draft pick you messing around with. while saying, hey, man, you've sat and rested guys when y'all team wasn't that good for a period of time. Now, it helped Oklahoma City that they only really
Wait,
had
are you
one
saying
bad
Al
year.
Horford still had something? Al Horford still had some juice left in the tank?
He went home. He went home.
He was straight up. They were like, yeah, just go home. Yeah, don't even come to report.
Did we make a big stink out of that back then? I don't think we did.
I think we may mention it, but it wasn't like we're out here with pitchforks like it is right now about tanking. Yeah.
No, it's just gotten so flagrant. It's like if you say the quiet part out loud, then you're supposed to don't say it out loud, just do it. And they're doing it and they're saying it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about this idea? Limited tag. So right now it's just black or white about oh, he's available or not available. Right. But if you say LeBron is limited tonight, he's going to play, but it's not going to be the full amount. Lauri Markkanen, available, but limited. And so that would be a signal to the audience, all right, he might not play the 35 minutes. And it's a way for teams to say, our medical staff says he's going to be limited because he's, got something going on, his ankle or whatever. And that way it'll be both sides win. Is that, okay, as long as you're being honest, quote unquote, with an actual designation in your report. Because I think the real problem is that Lauri Markkanen in the report just said available. And that opens up the floodgates to, hey, he's healthy, so he should be playing the whole 40 games. 40
I guess, and to piggyback right there quick, Tom, I guess that's my point. It's there's a million ways to do it to cover your tracks. The Utah Jazz just chose to say, fuck you, I'm not going to do any of them. And if they just done the little bare minimum to cover your tracks, oh, Lauri's dealing with the da-da-da, we're not having this conversation. I mean, we're still upset people are tanking in February, I guess. But again, I think this is something that happens every year and we accept it. It's just, there's a decorum to how you're supposed to do it.
Mm-hmm. There's an honor amongst thieves. And now there's no more honor amongst thieves. It is, I'm doing it in your face and I'm laughing in your face while doing it, while winking at you because I know you're not going to do nothing. And that's the unfortunate problem. But also, the single best way for a team like the Utah Jazz to get better in the way that the NBA is currently constituted is through the draft.
Sure.
I think Adam Silver has shown willingness to tweak things. I think an outright abolition of the draft is probably too extreme for what we're talking about right here. I
don't think he's going to do it. I think he wants to do it. I don't think he's going to.
He'll never. He will not get the votes. I'm going to tell y'all right now, he'll never have the votes.
Mm-hmm.
But every proposed solution then creates a new loophole that somebody else will figure out down the line because these people are very smart, very well paid, and dedicated to finding ways to exploit any window of opportunity. But in terms of the All-Star game, which has also been tweaked and changed, that you can change every year. That you can, we had a more successful amendment this year, except for the last championship game.
It's an exhibition.
But with the draft, you can't do it once. It has to be ongoing because people have picks 5 years from now that are already being traded. So the changes that are made to the draft need to be more thought out than what he does to the All-Star game, which is, Elam ending. No, we're not doing that anymore. Oh, we're picking teams. Oh, we're not doing that anymore. And so no matter what, there will be a loophole. That's what I'm worried about.
Do you think Adam likes this conversation that's happening out here because it curries favor for actual reform on the draft?
Nah, because Adam does not like criticism. Adam is hypersensitive to what people are saying. He thinks that there's multiple ways that you can get to the conclusion without embarrassing him or embarrassing the league in the meantime. So no, I don't. Even if it turns out to be a positive in the end, I think the road to get there is what bothers Adam.
I agree because I think he wants to. I think he wants to take a victory lap on the Team World versus Team Stars at the Stripes, and he's not able to do that right now.
I respectfully disagree.
Really?
Yes. Because Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday after the All-Star break, the entirety of the conversation is about tanking. You know what the conversation is not about?
Aspiration.
Which was a real terror of like, is this going to be the dominant storyline at All-Star Weekend in this building? And number two, Terry Rozier, Malik Beasley, Chauncey Billups, like those are real like boogeymen that we have not encountered before. That Adam's got to reckon with. Tanking? Oh, this shit is, man, we've done this shit 100 times, man. This is old reliable right here. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna fix it. All options are on the table. Like, this is, yes, there are new elements, new kind of features involved because of the rise of gambling, but it's nowhere near the uncomfortable, uncharted conversation that the Clippers capture convention case and the federal indictments are. Those are real life scary things.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask about, I think actually Kevin Durant, just before we get to the other Kevin Durant story, Kevin Durant's answer about how the expectation is that he has to play in these games or take it seriously in these games, but Luka and Nikola Jokic don't have to. They get held to a different standard. I thought was really sharp. I thought it was a really good clapback by Kevin Durant.
And it bore out.
And man, it did not go the way I thought it was. I thought the team world was going to run all over the American teams, and it was the opposite.
They would have Karl-Anthony Towns over-rotated, and Wemby was like, "What are you doing?" Dog, I saw that. I was like,
Carl was pissed. Victor was pissed. He was pissed at Carl.
Yeah.
He knows what it's like. Like now he's like, this is what OG Anunoby is thinking every time. That's what he was thinking. I never thought the world team was ever going to take it as seriously, because when we think about the All-Star game being bad, to Kevin Durant's point, we always point to the American players. We say, this is America's game, this is our game, blah, blah, blah. Like all of a sudden, the isms and phobias and all that other type of stuff starts coming out and how we talk about it and how it's covered. Those guys don't care. Like, I'm not being funny about it. Like, Luka doesn't care. Like, Luka was already a little bit banged up coming into it. Jokic is a little bit banged up coming into it. I never thought they were ever going to be as invested as the American players, because if the game turned out to be a dud, we were not going to say a damn word about Luka and about Jokic. We weren't going to say a thing about them. We would have said, oh, they're following y'all lead. Yeah. When it turns out they just doing what they want to do. And we have not recalibrated our expectations on what we expect from quote unquote black ball players. Now, Kevin Durant is very good at setting up a straw man and knocking the straw man down.
Oh,
he is masterful at that. When he was at his press conference, he fixed his lips. Y'all, he fixed his lips to say, I've been watching all these All-Star games the past couple weeks, and this Game 7 defense that y'all been talking about, it ain't never existed. Kevin, pray tell, when have we ever said that this was Game 7 defense?
Nobody.
Not never. Not once. We don't want nobody getting hurt. We don't want nothing stupid happening. We just don't want you to waste our time for 2.5 hours. And luckily, they didn't waste our time for 2.5 hours. But Kevin probably resents that we had that much of an influence on those 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I've never seen a player with a cell phone out in warmups. So
Shams?
Wow.
Yeah, Shams. Yeah. Man, I don't know where. I don't even know where to begin with this. So, does anyone want to jump in here?
Nope.
I don't think it's real. I'm just saying. I don't think it's. Look, this is as someone. I have a little bit of a gift in that if I've seen enough of your syntax, I can tell when you've written or said something and when it is being fabricated by someone, whether it is an artificial intelligence or a real person. I can tell the difference. There's a flag that goes up every single time. And I bring this example up as one of the things that happened years ago. There was a front office executive whose one of his analogies is always like describing things in terms of football. Oh, it's on the 40-yard line. It's on the 10-yard line. It's on the da-da-da-yard line, right? And then years later, I saw a quote, an anonymous source from a high-placed front office executive who described the deal as, and I was like, oh, the source is this. And the reporter, when I asked him, like, shit his pants immediately. How did you know? Because I know. That's how he talks. That's how he talks. It's the reason why me and Black Trey are friends. Because once upon a time, Trey and Brandon Jennings switched accounts and didn't tell anybody. And I said, that doesn't sound like Brandon. It sounds like Trey. It's like, is this Trey? And he's like, you're the only one to realize. So when I read, maybe not all of them,
Did you get my text, Amin?
I did. Many of the things that I saw, I did not get the vibe that was Kevin Durant's diction or style. Plus, there's all sorts of things like him speaking in complete sentences. Russell Westbrook, he doesn't talk like that, man. No one talks like that. No one says full name.
Did he say? I thought you called him triple-double cocaine bear.
Yeah.
That's the big win of the nicknames that he gave out.
I mean, whoever came up with it's a great way to describe it.
If I were Kevin Durant, I would absolutely take credit for that.
I claim that one.
The rest of them would not be, but triple-double cocaine bear, that's mine.
The Jabari one, for example, that's not him, man. That's not even close to how he doesn't talk like that, man.
So you don't think it's his account, or you think it's not him talking?
I don't think that's him typing. I don't know whether he has access to the account, whether that's completely fabricated someone else's account, like that is posing as him, someone who had access to it. I don't know any of those things. I'm just telling you, when I read the syntax of many of these ones, I just said, that doesn't sound like him. It's like, I don't know.
So, Vinny, what makes you queasiest about weighing in on this? Because I feel queasy about it too. Is it that you're talking about another man's private life than his private group texts are out in public? That is an uncomfortable thing to deal with, because I think we all agree that stuff shouldn't be out in public, and I don't know, so I don't want to weigh in.
Objection, speculative, sustained. Like that's you know what I mean? Like that's where we are. And because the subject matter is more sensitive, I think if it were funny stuff, if it were a different tone, I think we would be okay talking about it, or at least laughing about it more consistently. But because the subject matter is so close to home, because in all honesty, a lot of us believe it. We don't want to actually say it. The problem is we can picture Kevin Durant saying those things even if he didn't say them. So it's not necessarily calling him guilty, but we can see Kevin Durant, who's been spicy on Twitter, who's spicy in press conferences and everything else. We can picture him saying these things and then going from there. I don't want to think about Kevin Durant saying some of these things. I'm not going to ignore it, but I don't want to think about it. You know what I mean? And that's what makes me, as a journalist with a capital J and all that type of stuff, you gotta be careful, even if it points to it being likely that it's him. I would need a lot more than likely.
I think there's an element of responsibility. Look, some people can just say whatever the fuck they want. If you're on Twitter, you say whatever you want. If you're some podcast of a bunch of people on the outside looking in, you can say whatever you want. Even if you're players can say what they want, because there is no expectation to try to get shit right for these people. A lot of people look at these conversations as the barbershop, and not in a pejorative way. Like they aspire to take their barbershop conversation to a mainstream audience. And for people like us, that ain't what we're doing here. I don't do barbershop talk, right? So for me, beyond the fact that like I have serious doubts that it's him, it's also like there's no proof, right? Like you're just running with something because, as Vinny said, people want to believe. It is the ball sack sports story about Kyrie and who was playing one-on-one that ends up Kendrick Perkins says it on ESPN, citing it as fact. Why? Because it sounds like something that no, we can't work on it sounds like something that would happen. The only time that's ever been allowed in the history of this is Kawhi Leonard, Apple time. I know it's not real. I choose to repeat that story over and over again because it is the most perfect. Yeah, it kind of sounds like something he would do. But all these other things, no.
And the honest comedian. And the honest comedian, also very funny.
Yeah, Giannis comedian?
The impression.
But that's different. That's actually someone impersonating him, as opposed to people passing shit off as this is what happened. I had to deal with this just the other day. Someone tweeted, what's the guy's name? Scott, whatever, the fake account and the parody account.
Yeah. Scott Hughes, maybe.
Yeah.
CBB.
While you're doing that, I just want to say, I don't even know if KD denying it will actually help matters.
No comment.
Just if he just lets it keep moving by
Something
coming
else
out
will
and
come
denying
along.
it, then he's almost adding
You don't
credibility
give it
to the claim.
You don't say it. You don't address it, and that's the thing. Hey, our attention spans are so short, right? We don't have attention span for scandal anymore. We don't have attention span for bad mouthing your. We don't like. You can look at our society and see that we don't have the bandwidth for anything nowadays. So no, the best thing for KD is to just let this ride out because it is very a loud segment of Twitter, but Twitter ain't real life. You know what I mean? Like I was with someone today who's like reasonably famous, and I said, "Hey, did you hear about it?" He's like, "No," and that's because he doesn't spend time on Twitter. And I think sometimes when you're in this echo chamber of, "Oh my God, this is a big thing," I don't think it's as big of a thing. Like people know about it and they see it, but I don't think it's a thing where, "Oh my God, we got to address it," or KD's got to answer questions on it or whatever. All you're gonna say is, "No, it ain't mine," and those none of your damn business, and he'd be right.
The tweet was, report, the Houston Rockets held a team meeting in late January regarding Kevin Durant's online behavior. A Rockets staffer saw Durant tweeting from a burner account before practice, which prompted the meeting. A dejected KD stormed out of the meeting after just a few minutes. 16,000 likes on that tweet. And I am having a full-on, like, that's not real. Are you sure? Look at the guy's bio. I'm like, that guy's not real. It's not a real person. But he's got all this listed. Like, yeah, it says SI now. All right, show me the Sports Illustrated article that this guy wrote. Of course, he's never written, but no one ever takes the extra step of actually trying to verify what the source of the information is. And that's if it's someone who's presenting with a fake blue check mark. There's a lot of times where it's just people talking. The whole Michael Jordan shit. It's just people talking. Ain't nobody any sort of kind of due diligence or whatever. And that's why it's even more important for people in our position to not run or not even opine on this shit. I've had to have this conversation with Dan Le Batard in the past as he muses on who might be taking PEDs. I'm like, Dan, you don't get to say that. Well, why not? I didn't say that. I said, Dan, because you are someone who has some amount of credibility. And when you open that door, you are throwing that into the universe the way that a million people in barbershops could never. You just don't do it, I don't think.
Well, speaking of Apple time, Kawhi Leonard, 31 points in the third game of the Team USA versus the world. Vinny, was that the crown jewel moment? Steve Ballmer going crazy in the Intuit Dome. Is that the peak of the Clippers' reign with Kawhi Leonard?
It would be sad if it was, but it might be. Like
up until this point. Hold on, Vinny. Up until this point. To this point in history. Meteor's coming. It's going to destroy Earth. And I say, guys, it was a hell of a ride. All right, let's remember the best of the days. All right, Clippers, Kawhi Leonard. The best day was...
No, it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be that.
It would be the press conference.
It would be... No. It would be him putting up, what's that, 46 against Luka in Dallas. Was a game, like game 6 up against elimination. Like, that's actual real life basketball. I think the frustrating part when watching Kawhi Leonard is, A, we don't give him enough credit for actually being some level of physically resilient, because he's had a lot of debilitating injuries that have not just taken people out, but have rendered them useless in a basketball sense. And he has come back, a lot of time. Like, there was the ankle thing. What was it, a hamstring or ankle? I think it was an ankle in San Antonio, right? That was the Uncle Dennis.
The ankle was the original injury, the quadricep.
Quadricep, that's what it
was the
patellar tendon, whatever. Yeah.
So there was the quad. There was the ACL. There was another knee. There was him dragging that leg around in Toronto during the 2019 finals. We think of him as a guy that's just chilling, as opposed to a guy that has to constantly rehab. And then for him to come back this season with everything surrounding him, had the Clippers not had that sort of terrible start, that 6-21 start, you could realistically be talking about Kawhi Leonard as an MVP.
Mm-hmm.
If they just played 500 ball the first 25 games of the season, and they went on this run now, we would legit be talking about Kawhi Leonard not only as MVP, but best player in basketball, dangerous team, all that stuff. And we've never been able to say that about Kawhi Leonard. Maybe since 2017, I think he finished second in MVP voting or something like that.
Right.
But he's back to being that player. And it was 2017 and all the stuff that's happened since then. And it's 9 years later, and he's back doing this stuff.
We were prepared. I mean, we were prepared to call them scary, dangerous team, even with that start. Like until they had all the transactions that happened. But that collection, we were like, oh shit! Like they got out of the hole. They're firmly ensconced in the play-in, and this is a team that nobody wants to know. No 1 seed wants or a 2 seed wants to see that as their first round matchup. But yeah, man, like look. I point this out for a lot of guys. He's one of them. I point out for Zion.
I was just going to say. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like when ain't nobody ever said that guy sucks. We've always known when he's healthy and on the court, that's a motherfucker right there. That's an incredible basketball player. But that when or if that part is a huge part that you cannot just dismiss. And so for Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers, I mean, that's the interesting thing. Someone asked me the other day, it's like, do you think this is it for them? I'm like, no, I think they're going to re-up them and keep trying to have a lot of cap flexibility moving forward. He, for them, is like, yeah, we're not going to get a player as good as this. And them, for him, I don't think he's like, I won't go to another place that will be as tolerant as many of the asks I've had have been lodged, right? This is kind of a match made in heaven, these two units.
In a weird way, it's kind of like Steph with the Warriors. Is like, if he's playing this well, we got to keep going. Like, we got to keep trying to build around this guy because it's for sure way longer than we thought that he was going to be able to play at an MVP level. So I guess while we have it.
The difference is, I think there was a period where the Warriors didn't believe that Steph was going to be that guy. Like, you don't start preparing for your future if you think your guy is still at the peak of his powers. The Clippers have always believed in Kawhi Leonard. And I think now, and I have to check the CBA and everything else, he's at the stage of his career. He's going to be at the stage of his career. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, where he can only sign 2-year extensions.
He's not that old yet, is he? He's not that old.
He's going to be 35 this year.
Is he?
And he's got a year left.
Is Kawhi Leonard that old? Oh, my God.
He was born in 91.
Damn, man.
So with that being said, there is no long term. There is only the now.
Yeah.
And if you're saying, Kawhi, you won't get your money unless you play, there's no greater incentive than, all you got is a 2-year deal, Chief. That's good for him and good for them.
So Zion has played rule is what Vinny's referring to. Yeah. So he's not there yet, but it's knocking on the door.
Zion Williamson has played 30 straight games, right? It's
really?
Nuts. 30 straight games. Nobody cares. It's just like, hey, we should probably give props to Zion Williamson for staying healthy and playing that way, but the team's in the tank. They're terrible, and we're just ignoring the fact that Zion has been healthy enough to play. I would venture to guess he's, if not top 10 longest active streaks in the league of not missing a game. It's pretty damn close. 30 straight games for Zion Williamson in the same way that Kawhi, like you mentioned. I mean, we have to give kudos because a lot of times in today's NBA, we want to just write off these dudes and say they don't care enough. They don't get their bodies right. They're not serious about this. They just want to collect checks. And yet when they do it, we should acknowledge this is pretty cool to see Kawhi put it together.
And I don't think the sample size of guys who just want to collect checks, I don't think it's that big.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying the reputation is in the NBA.
I know. But I'm speaking to the people who think that. I'm like, I don't think the number of guys, especially the high level guys, those guys all want to play. Even James Harden, you can shit on him 8 million ways about he doesn't take shit seriously. He bails at the first time. Motherfucker plays. He plays almost every game. He plays high minutes, 35, 36 minutes. He wants to be out there. He wants to play. So, it's the problem is, again, we conflated, we allowed the conflation, going back to Toronto, of hurt versus I'm chilling. Kawhi Leonard became the poster child for this term, load management, that Toronto coined, or I don't know, someone covering Toronto coined, and it gave the impression that A, Kawhi just don't feel like playing, and B, it's a Kawhi decision to not play. When in actuality, it is a joint decision. The team is doing this because they're saying, I've got 7 milliliters of Kawhi Leonard that I've got to have last the entire year. I can't just guzzle it all down right now.
Can we not do that anymore?
Okay.
Can we not do 7 milliliters of Kawhi Leonard that you're guzzling down?
I got 7 grams of Kawhi Leonard that's got to last me the entire year. I can't smoke it all up all at once. Like I'm trying to do,
baby.
Shout out to Toronto Raptors Director of Sports Science, Alex McKechnie.
Yes.
2018-19
Silver
season.
Fox.
A Scotsman.
Yeah. Vinny, what do you want the people to know about All-Star Weekend that they don't know already? That you were there, boots on the ground. What happened at All-Star that you feel like you want to give a shout out on your way?
I'll give a shout out to someone. This a replay of something that happened 9 years ago, All-Star Weekend, when I found out Dave Chappelle performed at a secret location that everybody was at except for me. And my good friend Vinny Goodwill was there. He's like, oh, you missed it, da-da-da. You and Justin Tinsley, I fucking will never forgive y'all for this. This year, it was the Nas concert at Jimmy Goldstein's house. Like, come on, man. Not even a, hey,
I didn't know Nas was performing. I did not know it was at Jimmy's house until like earlier that day. But it wasn't like, oh, you just walk up to Jimmy's house. You get shuttled. You get dropped off at an address, you get shuttled. And from the shuttle, you get a golf cart. From the golf cart, you get another golf cart. And then maybe, just maybe, after you check in for the second time,
damn,
they let you in.
Wow, this sounds like an Illuminati meeting that you attended.
Absolutely not. Absolutely hell not. No. And the
you gonna end up on some files.
Yeah. No, no. You won't catch me in no. Got your damn mind. No, the party that Amin is talking about from 2016 in Toronto. Dave Chappelle didn't perform. He was there. He was just at a party, and Stevie Wonder was playing, and everybody was just singing. And then Dave Chappelle was sitting across from me, and we toasted. We just toasted Hennessy. Or something, some brown liquor. And that was pretty much it.
Tales grow in the telling, Vin. You know, by the time Amin's telling the story again next year, it'll be you and Dave Chappelle were best friends taking a drive together. You never know.
I also didn't tell Amin about the 2014 party in Houston where me, Beyonce, and Jay-Z were on the same stairwell. And I was going up and they were coming down. I just gave Jay the head nod. And I got a whiff of Beyonce's perfume. She smells heavenly.
I've told the Beyonce story on here, man. Like during the finals, we were in the tunnel in Cleveland, and we were doing like our own impromptu halftime show on like Periscope or whatever.
That's right. That's right.
I hear a hubbub, and I look at the end of the hallway, and I just see a mass of people walking, and in front of them, like by herself, was Beyonce, and their hair was fucking fluttering, and her clothes were fluttering, and she looked tremendous. And she's walking by, and Rachel's with us, and she stops, and she looks at Rachel and says, "Hey!"
Yeah.
And Rachel says, "What's up?" And she said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm fine," or whatever. And then she keeps walking. And I look at Rachel, what the fuck was that? She's like, I don't know her, da-da. Like, we met each other once or twice, whatever. I'm like, whatever. At the end of this massive procession of people is Jay-Z. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's paying. No, he's just walking by himself. So then we keep going, but a couple of minutes later, hubbub, they're walking back. And I shit you not, to this day, just like the AC in San Antonio, that I will never, ever forget that feeling. When she walked towards us the first time, her hair and her clothes were billowing backward from the draft. But when she walked back this way, one would imagine that they would be going forward. Nope. Still went backward. The wind changed with her. With her.
That's called aura, I believe.
And then she gave Rachel a hug on the way back.
Wow.
And I said,
Stephon Marbury would call that aroma back in the day.
Stephon Marbury. Well, we'll let you go here, Vinny from ESPN, Vinny Goodwill. Go follow him. Thanks so much for joining us on Basketball Illuminati and sharing us all of that uncomfortable stuff from All-Star Weekend. I appreciate you doing that.
I'll make sure next year, Amin, that you get the golden ticket to wherever the golden ticket party is.
It's in my fucking town. I better get the golden ticket.
You better know. You better be passing out the golden ticket.
Yeah, you're passing him out. I mean, come on now.
It's the Wilbon Elhassan All-Star Weekend.
I'm ceding it to Charles. Charles got that.
Oh, touche.
Yeah. Suddenly we're naming him off. We're like, actually, it isn't Amin's town anymore. Yeah. We got Wilbon and Chuck.
Never was.